What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Community News Comedy Calendar. This show where every single week we tell you what's happening, what's going to be happening, and what happened in South Florida comedy. I am Sebastian Alvarez, your host every single week of this show. I am a local comedian down here in South Florida. I'm also one of the managers over at the Miami Improv in Doral City Place. And I'm joined every week, as I am, by my good friend and co-host, Art Roche. How you doing today, Art?
I'm doing well, Sebi. Another week of comedy, looking pretty good. Last week, we actually launched some merch for the comedy calendar. So I don't have the store out yet. We don't have everything out yet, but some of you that saw me last week know what I'm talking about. And we are taking pre-orders right now for some new merch. It will be comedy calendar G-strings. So if anyone has information, just hit me up and I'll make sure to send you all the details. Got
you. And you are wearing one of those G-strings now, right? Currently, you're testing out, you're doing quality control?
That's right. I've actually been wearing one for every single episode. If anyone wants to buy those pre-worn ones, we also have a different website for that.
That's a completely different website, and that one requires age verification.
That's correct. That's correct.
So if you are not of age, unfortunately, you can't get any of the comedy calendar undies. But if you are interested in what's happening this week in South Florida comedy, though, we got a packed one for you. And I am honestly super excited for everything that we got on this lineup I got in front of me. But first of all, I want to give the comedy calendar fans a little treat. We always talk about how we want to give back to you guys, and we love that you guys support us every single week. So this is going to be one of many future giveaways for the Improv that we have here at the Community News Comedy Calendar. So we are giving away today 2 VIP tickets to the almost sold out Anjelah Johnson show this Friday at 10:30. If you get the tickets, you will not only be able to come to the show, but guess what? We got a $50 voucher that you can spend at the Improv as well. So that's $50 for you to spend on the food and drinks inside, and 2 VIP tickets for free to enter in the show. What do you have to do to win this amazing prize? All you have to do is in the comments of this clip, go down and say, hey, I want the tickets, follow the Community News Comedy Calendar, follow the comedy calendar, and tag 3 of your friends. That's all you got to do. Just tag 3 people, follow, and if any of your friends enter, if they follow and they tag 3 as well, that's another entry, even if they tag you back. So still have your friends tag and interact with the post. Get in there, get as many submissions as possible, because this is a really, really, really good gift that we got for you guys as fans of the comedy calendar and as supporters. We want to not only thank you by saying thank you, but we want to show you. That's so right. Put it in there. Put all your information if you want to get these tickets. It's going to be great. The shows are almost sold out for Anjelah Johnson this weekend, but we already have tickets held for you guys for these two. So even if it sells out, you might be able to get an exclusive ticket for the show.
Yeah, and whoever gets those tickets, they will be sat either by you or by me. So not only they get the VIP tickets, they get the $50. We'll be there to greet them. We'll be there to sit them ourselves.
Yep, make sure they get taken care of.
That's right. And we're hoping for every week going forward to be able to do some kind of giveaway. So big shout out, big thank you to the Miami Improv for making these tickets available to us to give away to our fans. So big shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Moving on, though, to what happened last week, we just wanted to get a little intro for you guys in terms of the giveaway so that if you're interested, you can get to doing that right now. But a little recap of what happened last week in South Florida comedy. We had a fun week, honestly, because started off working and then we had a Thursday off at the Miami Improv, and it just so happened that Thursday off led to me being able to host for Orlando Leyba up in Dania Beach. If you guys don't know who Orlando is, he is one of Miami's own products who is now going around the country touring, headlining, and doing his freaking thing. He was on America's Got Talent, I believe, a couple years ago. He made it really, really far. He didn't win, but still put out a really good resume for himself in terms of how funny he is as a comic and just how big he is as a personality. There's Orlando right there. If you recognize him, he's a 100% Miami product. Love the guy. He actually started in TV. He was just a normal everyday Joe like the rest of us. And one day decided, hey man, I want to do this. Yeah. I want to really have fun and live my dream out. And he did it. He freaking sold the house per se. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I will say, like, of all the comedians I've met, I mean, well, first things first, because we had that Thursday off, I was actually able to be there and watch you perform. Usually one of us is performing, the other one's at the Improv working. So that was a real treat. But we got there a little early, and Orlando actually got there a little early. And just the amount of knowledge and experience he had. We talked about a lot of things, but the thing that still rings in my head was, basically he sold everything he had. He told his wife it was going to take 6 months, and it basically took 6 years. So for all those comedians, who think we're pushing hard, who think we're doing a lot, there's a lot more to be done. And as someone who, as far as a comedian with strategic thinking, I enjoyed very much meeting him. I think he gave us a lot of good advice on this road that we're on. And I'm looking forward to seeing him again very soon.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. And I honestly thought that not just he had a great set and did amazingly that night, but the feature that we had as well, Mario Ramil, he did really great, and it was really fun doing a show with him. As you guys know, Mario was our first ever guest on the show a couple weeks back. If you haven't seen that interview, go watch it, because he does have a show coming up on the 27th next week at the Miami Improv on Wednesday. So he talks about that show and kind of the vibes for it. So you definitely want to check that out. The other thing that I wanted to mention was Dania Beach, man, the staff over there, the crew, the new manager, Leah, everyone over there, like, hats off to them. It was so much fun being able to go there and do my thing on a random Thursday. I wasn't expecting it, so they treated me great. They treated me with like so much respect, and I couldn't have been happier with the evening.
Shout out Alina, who was taking care of the green room. She was on it. She was amazing. Got us our drinks, got us our food.
Alina got me my garlic parm wings that I have to get every single time I go to Dania Beach. But yeah, everyone took care of us, and I couldn't have been happier with the vibes over there. Definitely love Dania Beach. And if you're in the area, please go see a show at the Dania Beach Improv. They do it top notch.
Absolutely. We'll say this too. Hanging out with Mario again at a comedy club was nice. We got to kind of just talk about some of the stuff he's preparing for the show. I was able to get a little clip actually of you guys.
Yeah, that's right.
So if we get a chance here to play that, just to give him a big shout out.
There we go. And actually, I think in the clip I say November 24th. The show's the 27th.
27th, that's
yeah,
correct.
yeah. But I will say that was great. Shout out to Dania. Shout out to Orlando. Shout out to Mario and everybody who was out there at the Miami Improv. We ran into a few people outside as well. Right before we started the show, they were from Ohio. Super nice crew. They sat right in the front. Such a good audience. They always get good audiences out there in Dania. So man, I definitely want to be performing out there more often, if not just on their open mics and going out and doing their new faces, which I've never done. But going out and, hosting a few more shows and being able to maybe feature at some point. That'd be really cool.
We also met some of Orlando's old co-workers, so shout out to Channel 4.
That's right.
Met a couple of very interesting characters from Orlando's past, and shout out to the White Poodle Man.
Really that's right. Really great story. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. So that was last week in comedy, guys. It was a lot of fun, and we couldn't have had a better week, honestly, in terms of we had a nice weekend with Benji Brown. He did his shows. He did his thing. We had Mark Viera come through on Friday doing his shows, doing his thing. I actually also was on Riff Roulette last weekend, which was this great show we had up in Boca at Sadman Comedy Club. That's ran by Shannon, Eric, and Casey up there. Great show. So much fun. Hopefully, eventually we're going to have you, Art, be able to feature up on it and get up there. I'll stay at work that Friday. You can go to Boca. But all in all, it was a really fun week and weekend of comedy over in South Florida. Moving on to this week, though, we got a really packed week, and we're going to fly through it really quickly. First off, on Monday, we have a show that is one of the stalwarts, actually, of shows that have been happening. I don't even know how long they've been going, but they're one of the oldest shows, and it's a travesty that we haven't shouted them out yet on the comedy calendar, and that's going to be Bay Club up in Miami Beach at 9 p.m. That's run by our good friend Will Lopez. He absolutely kills it every single week. He brings in some of the best comics in all of South Florida, and also brings in great headliners like our boy Orlando Leyba that you can see on the screen right there. The guy that I was hosting for up in Dania Beach. He's going to be on that show. We got Danny Benaventes hosting, who's one of my favorite hosts / comedians in South Florida. You can always catch him over at Casa Tiki on a night-to-night basis. And then we got Chris Raw and Alex Maurizio. Just amazing lineup. I love Chris, really good friend of mine. So it's going to be a lot of fun. That is tonight at 9 p.m. up in Miami Beach at the Bay Club. Yeah. Look it up, guys. Look it up. Go out there and enjoy it, because there's very few things in terms of comedy that are of a higher quality on a Monday night than what happens at Bay Club.
As far as rooms, to look forward to performing in, this is one of those rooms. I mean, I'm looking forward to performing in. I know you are as well. It's going to happen soon, but
we're not going to be performing tonight.
Not tonight.
No, we're not on the show or anything like that.
But Will just brings together, whether it's his out-of-town contacts that he has and he's bringing comedians in, whether it's the respect he has from like the local headliners, like Orlando Leyba is going to be in town this week. Bam, he got him on the show. He just puts together, just a combination of comedians, and it makes the night be amazing. He has a DJ there playing music to keep things going. And of course, Chris Renoir, one of the best guys here in South Florida, he'll be on the show tonight. Is like another throwaway person? No. All the people on the show will be amazing. Miami Beach, Bay Club, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's Monday, though. Moving on to Tuesday, we actually have a show that you can catch me and Art at on Tuesday at the Miami Improv. We have the turkey contest. It's the annual turkey contest where it's kind of like the New Faces. It's a bringer show where everybody who comes, they bring a certain amount of people. It's usually 10 for each show. And if the person who is the comedian has their name set at the door 10 times by 10 different people, they're allowed to get on stage and compete for $100 turkey. It's going to be a lot of fun. And every single year, it's always a riot because the comedians, it's an arbitrary prize, Most of the comedians probably aren't going to do too much with a turkey, but it's fun because we bring our A game and we kind of bring that extra little vibe. I know, Art, you're competing on that show, right?
Yeah, it's not about cooking the turkey. It's about holding it over your head in front of your friends,
right? And
being crowned the champion.
Exactly, and wearing the turkey butt first as a crown. But of course,
I am performing. I'm going to be competing this Tuesday. So definitely anyone that wants to come, just come to Miami Improv, 8 p.m. Say Art Roche at the door. There'll be no cover. You just get to go right in.
There's still a 2-drink minimum.
There will be a 2-drink minimum, exactly, every time at the Improv. But I'll be there to greet you, to take you to your seats. There's going to be a ton, probably maybe 10 to 12 other local comedians that have signed up for the contest. Everyone's bringing their A game. So if you're going to come to one of the New Faces kind of bringer shows at the Miami Improv this year, I always recommend the turkey contest. The big hitters come out and they're throwing their best out there.
Yeah.
I will be out there. I will be throwing my best. I will not go easy on anybody. I'm trying to win. So again, anyone that wants to come out tonight, just say Art Roche at the door. You're in for free.
Nice. Yeah, that's going to be on Tuesday. I will also be doing a guest set on that show. I'm not competing. I can't win the turkey, but I'll just be going up having a little fun because I'm going to be working regardless that night. Moving on to Wednesday, though, we have a really, really great show at the Miami Improv. We got Dom P putting on the Have-Nots, as he does every single month, our monthly installment of Have-Nots at the Miami Improv. And this is actually a lineup that I couldn't be more excited for. Everyone here on the lineup is a really good friend of mine and someone who I love seeing their sets. We got Sean Kett, who's our boy, who's from staying now in North Carolina, back down here hanging out. We got Hennessy Williams, who's an amazing headliner in his own right. He's headlined my Arlo show before, so seeing him coming here and doing a feature set with just straight killing material for 10-15 minutes, gonna be a lot of fun. We got Grant Tolliver, who is one of the funniest comics in South Florida and also the tallest comic in South Florida.
The tallest working comic,
the tallest working comic by far. It's not even close. There's no competition. He takes the crown. Dom P, obviously, as he's on every single show. And then we got Chris Renoir as well, who was going to be on that Bay Club show that we were talking about on Monday. He's going to be in the Miami Improv show right here on Wednesday. Right. So that just goes to show another level of the comics that is being pulled through to Bay Club. But we love Chris. He's one of the funniest comics, if not the funniest comic for me in South Florida right now.
I agree. One other thing I'll say is, so Sean, I got to speak to him last week. This will be the last show he's doing here in South Florida.
Before he goes back up?
Then he's going back home.
Okay.
So if anyone hasn't caught Sean while he's down here this week, it's worth it. I mean, obviously Have-Nots is worth it by itself, but come out with Hennessy there, with Sean there, with Chris there. It's gonna be incredible. Big shout out to Dom P. This year, it seems like every Have-Not show has gotten better and better as the month has progressed.
Everyone's been a banger. It's been a crazy lineup. Every single one here, in Miami or Dania.
And it's a little bit early to shout this out, but I believe you will be on the December Have-Nots.
Yeah, that'll be December. No, it's in Dania. December 30th in Dania. Yes.
Nice. So I'm excited to see that as well because it means next month's show is going to be just as good or better than this. So
I can't wait.
Yeah, and also, big shout out to Dom P. He's one of the real ones here in South Florida comedy, putting shows together, giving people chances. He's been doing a ton of work, clipping the videos and getting stuff out for people and really spreading the word of South Florida comedy.
Yeah.
Can't wait to have him on the show here one day,
For sure. Next time he has a show to promote, and he is available on a Monday. We're going to get him in here 100% to do a little interview and just talk about have-nots and give you guys kind of an insight of to how that all started and where it's going. But moving on to Thursday, though, we got a cool show up in Villain Theater. This is a little bit of a different show. We got a D&D, Dungeons and Dragons live show. So me and Art have both played Dungeons and Dragons before. It's a super fun game. A lot of people got into it during the pandemic when you had, to be locked down and everybody, like, it kind of just blew up and became more mainstream to the point where now you got places doing live shows for Dungeons and Dragons, and that's going to be over at the Villain Theater, guys, 8:30 on Thursday. Go out there. My boy Thomas Lamountain, I believe he's going to be on the D&D panel. He's going to be playing. He's going to be a character. He's going to be bringing one of his characters to life on stage. Free parking over at the Villain Theater. Head over there. You can get tickets at villaintheater.com. A lot of fun. This is something I would love to do at some point, even if it's just like, if it's with Villain, if it's somewhere else. I've seen a lot of these just like group D&D events, like public D&D events, and I think it's really cool and a lot of fun.
Me too.
So I'm actually very much a novice at D&D. I've only played like a few times, but I love it. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I me too. I'm pretty much a novice, started playing during the pandemic. But I think it's awesome. And there's a lot of other venues that are doing D&D type events. If any of them want to shout out, send us the flyer.
Yeah.
We will definitely shout it out. Obviously it's comedy related. It's always going to be funny when you do those kinds of things. But I love it. And actually, if you'd like, you can roll for Bardic Inspiration.
Oh, yeah. Let me see. I don't have my D20 on me. Wait, let me see. Siri, roll a dice of 20 sides.
It's 4.
I got smashed.
You rolled a 1?
I rolled a 4. I rolled a 4. All right. Moving on, though, to what's happening at the Miami Improv on Thursday, though. We have a really, really cool show happening. Art, this is actually a comedian that you've hung out with and interacted with. What's happening on Thursday?
Yeah, so Thursday, Miami Improv, 8 p.m. We have David Nyle. It's the Shelf Help Tour. So it talks a lot about mental health. But David Nyle, he's one of my favorite comedians that I've kind of discovered over the last couple of years. Really heavy online presence. He's an Irish comedian, world traveler. I mean, he's lived in I think 20 countries. He's worked in like 12 of those countries. His knowledge of pretty much all the cultures around the world is amazing. The guy is every time I see a video on him on Instagram, he's in the water swimming with sharks or doing crazy stuff like that. But in his world travels, he's actually met so many people. So when I met him originally, it was at the Rafi Bastos show. Yeah. And also met Fabio Rabin. So it's like two Brazilians. I walk in and there's an Irishman in there and he speaks Portuguese.
Oh, wow.
David Nyle speaks Portuguese. He's been to Brazil. He knew more about Brazil than I did. So it made sense why he gets along with every comedian, why he can do pretty much any kind of show. So I'm excited to see him. It's going to be a one show only, Thursday, 8 p.m. And I'm excited. I'm definitely, you guys will see next week some pictures of David and I together. I will guarantee that I will take a picture and put it up.
Yeah, 100%. And he's super nice. I remember even in the limited interactions that I had with him for that show, he hung out a little bit after the show had let out. And in between the shows, he came and kind of was in the box office. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. Like comic, nothing, like just such a cool, genuine, down-to-earth guy. On Thursday at Dania, though, we got Mark Viera, who was at Miami on Friday last week. Now he's going to be in Thursday doing that all-star comedy show that he does. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's over in Dania at 8 p.m. on Thursday. It's only one show, so if you got the time, head over there, man. Mark's super funny. Mark's one of our guys. It doesn't matter that he's from New York. I know New Yorkers get a bad rep down here in Miami, but calm down, guys.
He's adopted Miami. Well, I'll tell you this. So two things. One, we had the show last week. Our boy Don P opened for him in Miami.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's opening this week in Dania, but Don P did a great job just getting everything set up. But the other thing I'll say that makes Mark Viera definitely a Miami guy already, he has one of the baddest cars that I've ever seen.
Oh, what is it?
I'm not gonna say the color or the make because I don't want to. Maybe he doesn't want that out there.
But it's a nice car.
It's a nice car. When I went to go get him from downstairs, he asked me, "Do you know how to drive stick shift?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And then he let me drive his car and put it in the parking lot. So it was a pretty cool experience.
Nice.
But it was a really nice car. I mean, dude, the guy knows his cars. So big shout out to Mark.
That's what's up. Is it old or new?
No, brand new.
It's a brand new. It's not like a classic car.
No, it's 2024.
Oh,
it's got all the bells and whistles.
It's expensive.
It's expensive, yes.
That's right. That's how you know he's a good comic.
Exactly.
That's how you know Mark's pretty funny. And if you want, go on Thursday to see just how funny you got to be to get a nice car like that. Because I don't have a house or things to call my own as a comedian. But Mark is much funnier than me. so he gets to have sports cars. Do you see?
Yeah.
Guys, why we have these shows, okay? You understand. Just so you get it. But we are going to have an actually really, really fun lineup this weekend at both Miami and Dania because we got a full female weekend headlining at Miami and Dania. I don't remember the last time this happened. It's super, super rare, but I'm glad that it's happening this week because they are both great in their own right, and Miami is going to be popping this week. Like we told you earlier in the show with the giveaway tickets for Anjelah Johnson, she is going to be here this weekend at the Miami Improv. Shows are quickly selling out, so if you want to get tickets, get some now. They're very limited. Anjelah is one of the funniest female comics, I think, in all of South Florida, in the world, and coming to South Florida all year is what I was going to say. She is really, really funny. Her YouTube special,
Say I Won't.
It's Say I Won't.
Yeah, it's
That's
on
right.
YouTube, so it's
it has
free to
like
watch.
4 million views. Like it's insane. It's absolutely popping off.
And I'll tell you, as far as, just female comedians, I have gotten messages about her show over 10 times more than any other comedian that I've gotten.
No, and we're getting phone calls and emails, and this show actually, believe it or not, sold out way in advance. Like most of the tickets were sold months in advance the minute that it hit the sale. So that just goes to show just how ingratiated her fans are with her, how ready they are, and how hungry they are to see her come through. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be great. And like I said, guys, 2 VIP tickets we're giving away here, guys, to this show. People were waiting literally in line, in queue, on their refreshing their page, waiting to get these tickets. And we're going to give you, as Comedy Calendar fans, just for watching the show, if you want, comment on the clip, go to the clip, comment on it, give us all the information of your friends. That's all we need. That's all we need. We just need your friends' information. Just tag them, and then they'll be able to see it, and then they can tag and enter themselves and just up the chances for you to be able to get these tickets. Because it's not just tickets, it's $50.
That's right.
You get money.
That's right.
That's free money. I don't have money. I can't buy things. And we're giving you money before we give it to ourselves. That's how much we love you fans. Come on, guys.
The first time I actually heard of Anjelah was like in 2015. She did a clip with the Church of What's Happening Now with Joey Diaz and Lee, where she took a star of death live on the podcast.
She got way too high.
Yeah, she went comatose there on the show.
Yeah, it happens.
It's actually, one of my goals in the comedy world is to make it onto a Joey Diaz podcast.
Well, did you see? I don't know if you saw. They just started bringing back the Church of What's Happening Now. That got announced like a couple days ago. They're bringing it back. They're going to be doing it live with Lee and Joey. So definitely check that out, guys. That's if anybody has a comedy podcast worth watching, it's Joey freaking Diaz. It's Joey Diaz. Period.
And shout out to the Stars of Death. We'll see if we can.
Shout out to the Stars of Death. They don't make them anymore. They're not produced anymore. You can't buy them. But if you got any, send them to us, even if they're expired. We'll do them on the show, and we'll do a whole comedy calendar on a Star of Death. That'll be fun. Well, moving on, though, in Dania Beach, though, we have Kelsey Cook. I don't know too much about her. What's happening up in Dania this week?
So Kelsey Cook, she has a YouTube special called The Hustler, which automatically means she's my type of girl. You know
Nice,
what I mean?
right? Yeah, of course.
And basically, she is a real life hustler.
I didn't know she did magic.
Well, she does. She's a world champion foosball player.
Oh, got you.
And so she has a web series that's called Wrists of Fury.
Strong wrists.
Where they bring comedians onto the web series. They don't know she's a world champion foosball, and then she hustles them in foosball.
Nice.
So,
I like that.
Yeah. So it's
that.
really, really funny.
You would think they do some research before going on the podcast.
Yeah, but you never
called Wrists of Fury.
You never expect someone to be a foosball world champion.
Well, I mean, if I was invited on a show called Wrists of Fury and it was a female comedian's podcast, I'd be like, man, what is this about? And then you look in every episode, she's dogging someone in foosball. I'd be like, maybe I practice a little bit. But then again, what are you going to do? You can't put in 15 years of practice.
Right.
Like she's a tournament like foosball player.
That's right.
That's got to be the weakest flex ever.
I don't know, dude. I think it's pretty...
I think
she hustles people for money.
No, I'm sure she's a phenomenal comedian. I'm sure she's really, really good at it. But it's just like, that's like the funniest flex ever. Where like, yeah, I'm a champion foosball player. I don't know. I like it though. I like it. That's what's up. That's happening in Dania Beach.
That's right. So she has 4 shows Friday and Saturday. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday.
Nice. Awesome. So on Sunday, we actually don't have Anjelah Johnson at the Improv because she's only going to be doing the Friday, Saturday shows. At the Miami Improv on Sunday, we're going to be having Rene Vaca come through and do his shows. I'm really, really excited for this because Rene is one of the funniest guys in comedy. He's a huge crowd work guy, a lot of energy, and he's one of those comics that in a few years you might not be able to catch him at the Miami Improv because he's on that kind of trajectory where he's just blowing up. Even his openers, we had Ken Flores, a guy who opened for him, Rene, that is, last time he was in Miami. Now he just headlined in Dania for an entire weekend. So that's just an idea of the kind of scope that Rene has. Right now, I think he's doing this show. He's doing 2 on Sunday.
That's right.
Coming through, and very rarely do we ever have 2 show Sundays. So that just goes to show you there's a testament right there to just how many tickets he's going to be pushing. Yeah. And it's going to be a fun show. It always is. He kind of gives it like a party feel, high energy, high vibes. So definitely come through and check out that show at the Improv. I believe they're going to be at 7 and 9:30
That's right.
On Sunday. So if you want to get tickets, go to miamiimprov.com and scoop up your tickets now.
And a lot of comedians, a lot of the local comedians that are like kind of crowd work comedians or want to be better at crowd work, they all talked about Rene.
Yeah.
They all mentioned that they want to come to the show. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these guys there. He's going to put a masterclass. Even his comedy logo is him dancing around the stage.
Yeah, honestly, if you're a comic, come and sit in the front and get worked on in the crowd. Like see what you can do, man. Like pay attention to it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Moving on to Sunday in Dania, though, we have, I think it's a Spanish show, right, Art? So if you want to take it from there, you got a little shout out for our Spanish audience. If you are speaking Spanish and you made it this far into the show, crazy, first of all. Second of all, here you go. Let Art tell you a little bit about what's happening in Dania on Sunday.
Muchas gracias, Sebastián. Tenemos muchos fans de comedia que hablan español aquí en Miami y hacemos los clips en inglés de los shows de español. Entonces, varios me pidieron que lo hiciera en español. Entonces, de hoy en adelante vamos a empezar a hacerlo. Este fin de semana, el domingo, en el Dania Improv tenemos un show. El show es de Carlos Sánchez. Se llama Crisis de Media Vida. Carlos Sánchez es un comediante dominicano. Le dicen el rey del stand-up dominicano. Entonces, es alguien que viene con bastante amor de su país. Y los shows de comedia dominicanos siempre son de la más alta energía. Entonces, ese año ya Carlos ha promediado más o menos 150 shows internacionales, América Latina, Europa, Australia. Entonces, de verdad, ha trabajado mucho, mucho, mucho. Me encantó sus temas porque él habla de cosas de hombre, de familia, de sus hijos y, claro, sobre el odiado examen de próstata que todos los hombres tienen que hacer a los 40 años. Súper chistoso, súper amoroso. Infelizmente no vamos a estar en ese show porque vamos a estar en Miami, pero si alguien va al show y tiene algún comentario después, mándame un video, mándame lo que sea y lo vamos a hablar la semana que viene aquí.
Thank you, Art. That was fantastic. I can't speak Spanish, so I'm gonna flavor my speak with a little commentary. But that's the first ever Spanish shout out on the show. And I think Art did a great job. I couldn't understand a word you said. I think he was speaking Portuguese there a little bit half the time. But good for you, Art. Congrats, man. I'm really happy for you. Well, guys, that's been the comedy calendar this week. It's been a lot of fun. And as we say every single week, thank you so much for watching the show. Don't forget to get those tickets for Anjelah Johnson. Put your friends in the description, tag them, and say you want the tickets. Follow the comedy calendar and get yourself a $50 voucher and some VIP tickets. Until next week, guys, stay laughing.